Hello, and welcome to another episode of Perspectives from the Informed Perspective. We're Penny and Jenny, and if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for joining us. This podcast is where we explore what it means to build thoughtful, grounded communities shaped by our local lives, but enriched by voices and ideas from around the world. We believe meaningful change begins with listening. Really listening, especially to experiences that challenge or expand our own. Today we're diving into the subject of midlife. Let's begin with the question, when is midlife? Researchers and the public generally define midlife as spanning roughly ages 40 to 60, give or take a decade. But the truth is, midlife is highly individual. Its timing can shift depending on many factors: how old our parents are, when or if we have children, and even when our own children go on to have children. For some, midlife arrives early, for others, much later. At a time when people once upon a time might have been nearing the end of life, many of us now find ourselves only halfway through. Somewhere along the way, we gave this phase a name: the midlife crisis. But should we really see it as a crisis, or should we be grateful that we get to keep going? The term midlife crisis is often credited to Elliot Jacks, who said it in 1965 after he observed abrupt lifestyle changes, shifts in productivity, and an increasing awareness of mortality around middle age. The stereotypes are familiar: the red sports car, a much younger partner, cosmetic procedures to turn back time. But whether a true midlife crisis even exists is still debated. For some, midlife begins when children leave home and the reality of empty nest syndrome sets in. It can be a time of loss, disorientation, and a sudden need to refocus on a partner. Sometimes it's also when couples realize they've grown apart. At the same time, many people are having children later, meaning some even are still raising school-aged kids well into their 50s. As your hosts, we're both slowly moving into that midlife bracket, and yes, it comes with challenges. We've been around for a bit, and we bring experience of both the working world and family life. Yet despite all that, it can still feel like there's so much left to do. Honestly, sometimes it feels like I'm only just getting started. Midlife can, for some, be the point where everything finally makes sense. Clarity, confidence, and even relief from the pressures, vanities, and comparisons of youth. For others, it can trigger panic, a quiet or not so quiet fear that time is slipping by, that certain dreams won't be realized, or that life hasn't quite turned out as imagined. Many of us juggle children, careers, and family life while also watching our parents age, bringing new responsibilities, worries, and emotional demands. We care for both the young and the old, managing multiple roles, transitions, opportunities, and challenges. Rising rates of chronic illness, disability, obesity, and mental health challenges add to the load. Antidepressant use and engagement with mental health services peak in midlife, particularly for women and those with fewer years of education. Rising mortality rates from depths of despair, including suicide, substance misuse, and chronic illness, highlight the cost of neglecting midlife well-being. Society still expects us to look and perform our best, to exercise, eat well, and age gracefully. Meanwhile, reality has other plans. Gravity works its magic, wrinkles appear, metabolism slows, muscles weaken, and joints start to ache. With time and energy stretched thin, keeping up with these expectations can feel even harder. Amid all this, midlife adults play a vital role in holding families and workplaces together, mentoring colleagues, supporting loved ones, and sustaining communities. We are an invaluable part of society. Roles can include spouse or partner, parent, grandparent, adult child, sibling, friend, co-worker, caregiver, and community member. Research by Ahrens and Riff shows that adults in midlife often juggle up to 8 roles simultaneously, more than any other stage of life. Midlife also comes with significant strengths. For many, it's a peak period for career influence, earnings, leadership, confidence, and decision-making. Yet it's also a stage marked by competing pressures: caring for children and aging parents, reassessing identity, and navigating the gap between expectations and reality. These challenges contribute to what researchers call the midlife dip, a temporary decline in well-being that appears in many countries and cultures, and even in our closest relatives, apes. Studies of chimpanzees and orangutans show a similar U-shaped pattern of happiness to humans, higher in youth, dipping in midlife, and rising again in later years. This suggests that midlife stress is not a natural life course, is a natural life course transition. Research from the Economics of Happiness 2019 shows that people with strong social networks, positive workplaces, stable partnerships, and supportive communities report higher well-being throughout midlife and beyond. A sense of belonging improves life satisfaction at all ages, but it appears to matter especially in midlife when connection can not only cushion the midlife dip, it can transform it, turning a period often framed as decline instead into one of depth, resilience, and renewed purpose. Middle-aged adults really do carry a significant portion of society's weight. Their health and well-being affect families, workplaces, and communities alike. Supporting midlife means better workplace flexibility, ongoing education, stronger social ties, and policies that recognize caregiving realities. When midlife adults are supported, everyone benefits. And when they aren't, the repercussions can ripple outward. This is a conversation we middle agers need to be having. Midlife is a challenge, but maybe it's also a chance to reinvent ourselves, a kind of comeback, a moment to shape the second half of life with intention, curiosity, and purpose. But before we dive in, here are a few perspectives on midlife. Some may resonate, some may not, and that's kind of the point. Attributed to Carl Gustav Jung, midlife is the time to let go of an over-dominant ego and to contemplate the deeper significance of human existence. Bree Penfold, in her book Lola Bloom Le Flamingo Diaries, midlife shouldn't be the end of youth. It should be the beginning of giving zero beep beeps and finally doing life our way. Ada Calhoun, in Why We Can't Sleep, Gen Xers are in the prime of their lives at a particularly dangerous and divisive moment. They have been hit hard financially and dismissed culturally. They have tons of debt. They're squeezed on both sides by children and aging parents. The grim state of adulthood is hitting them hard. If they're exhausted and bewildered, they have every reason to feel that way. Marianne Williamson, The Age of Miracles. Excitement doesn't knock at your door any less when you're older than when you're younger. It's just that when you're younger, you're more likely to open the door and let it in. With age, you start growing ambivalent about excitement. You might say that you want it, but at the same time, you're not sure you have the energy for it. And in Autobibliography by the Irish author Rob Doyle, the first 40 years are the text, the rest is the commentary. I see that, and yet I feel that I'm somehow at the start of a life, on the cusp, facing a future that's strange and turbulent, but not entirely hopeless. And Marianne Williamson in The Age of Miracles, this is not the time to stop working on ourselves. It's the time when we finally accumulated enough clues to help crack the case and understand why and how we've kept ourselves bound for so long. It's time to take a stand, once and for all, for your own potential. And for that reason alone, these are the sacred years. Now I pass over to Jenny, please, to introduce our wonderful guests today.
Thanks, Penny. And just to say that was one of the most insightful introductions, I think, because I think we can easily gloss over midlife because of the busyness that you mentioned. And I'm really excited today that we've got Kenny and Sonya on, and is going to give us both perspectives from male and female and intertwined as well. So first up is Kenny Mammarella-D'Cruz. He has an uncanny ability to see through life's challenges. He's a best-selling author, a weekly columnist for the iPaper, a regular on the Times Radio's Man Friday slot, and represented the Heart on Radio 4. He's a gentle voice in the ears of many men who come to him for help with life. He's the man whisperer, said Newsweek, describing his work with Men's Group over 25 years. A child refugee, Kenny navigated PTSD and mental health issues, conquering OCD as he worked with dying men alongside Mother Teresa in Calcutta. He is known for his groundbreaking work with men, training people to hold men's